So in starting, I will be asking you some question, and after that, let's say when we are done with the mock interview session, we will discuss those
वो
questions.
PDF कॉल देखा था इसका
Uh, can you please go
हाँ
on mute, guys? Yeah. Okay. So once we just complete the mock interview session, I will explain those questions if you, let's say, if you were unable to answer those questions. Okay, so let me bring all the questions. Just a minute. I think, yeah. I hope you can see my screen. You can,
Yeah, we can
yeah.
see a screen.
So let's start with the first question. What is a web server and its use for? So what do you understand by the web services and why we use it in CyberArk?
I mean, that is actually use it to PBWA is actually running on the web server, right?
Yeah, but what is web services or web server?
PBWA, right?
No, no, that's the CyberArk component.
Mm-hmm.
But what is web services? Why we use it? Others, Satvika, Sashank, Sikshavali.
Yeah, it is used to connect web, internet, or to components. Web server is used to that IS is used to connect component of PWA or Vault like that.
Okay, so you are saying it is used to connect to Vault and PWA.
Yes, this service.
Others,
So like web service use in the sense we can call it as like a to we have to communicate with the world. So in a sense it will be a, like a PWA. In the PWA itself it is a like web-based services. So to need to communicate with world we have to install the web server in while doing the installation PWA. Why? Because while we running the command, like while we doing the prerequisite setup, so there will be uh, we have to run a command in the PowerShell. So on that time, web
what
server, and
is, okay, okay,
some more.
that's fine. You are telling the installation process. But what is web server or IAS? Full form of IAS. Still not right answer, guys. Yes, it is used
Internet
in PWA. Yeah.
yes.
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, it is information internet service. By that we can get the information and data what we want.
Okay, using this we can get the data.
Yes.
No, wrong answer. Okay, totally fine. Let's move to next question. Okay, let's say if CyberArk private arc database service is not running. So what may happen and how you will fix this and which logs you will refer to find out what is the root cause. Means what is the root cause why your database service is not running. So what logs you will be checking.
Yes, we will go to the services of the primary vault. There we can restart the private arc, and suppose if it is not running, then we can go and restart these services, and we can fix. And the logs we can check ITA logs, from where we can check the root cause why it is not running in ITA logs.
This is for private arc database, not the
Yeah.
private arc server.
So in the services, no, I'm just talking about in the vault where we have installed the vault. So we will go there, the services of the vault, and we will check there. Ki either private database is running or not. If it is not running, then we can just restart this like that.
Okay, and which logs you will check?
ITA logs.
Others, is it correct?
I think since the CyberArk is actually running on MySQL, so we need to check the database log, right? Yeah.
Yes, what database log you will check? Name of the log?
Uh, I can't remember.
It's MyDB something.
Yeah,
My
VaultDB, not the ITA log. Okay, so let's say, as you said, like private arc database is not running. So what will happen then? What will happen to the server? What will happen to
Vault
Vault?
will not like Vault will be not running, so Vault will be we can't able to access to Vault.
Okay, cool. Okay, moving to our next question. I think this is very straightforward. What are the default ports used for below? For RDP, what is the port?
uh
389.
three
It's a remote desktop protocol.
Yeah, what is the port number?
Double
three eight
3389.
Yeah, and for SSH?
It is also a secure shell to connect with like a Unix server, and the port number is like 22.
Yep. And what are the ports for CPM to manage the
For
password
CPM,
of?
it is 135,
Yep.
139,
4
and
port.
443.
Okay. And for Unix
For Unix, it is 22,
and for PVW,
443,
Vault.
1858.
Cool. Okay, that's correct. How to configure SMTP integration? How you will perform the SMTP integration?
for the SMTP integration. I think you need to get the port number and then
Mhm.
the from the SMTP team, and then you can just configure it from the PVWA.
Okay, so what details you will need for SMTP?
The IP address, the port number, and yeah,
What port number?
25.
So,
and yeah.
Okay, and
The IP address, um, what else?
yes.
And then for the email, if you kind of like have to ask the customer what they want, the email they want to use for their no reply or something.
Okay, and
Sender we receive we need to check with the client we need like a receiver name and sender email also from the we have to check with the client to get this information and port number. So
okay,
we have to configure this SMTP in the PWA. We haven't tab, so we need to go to PWA inside administrative. Uh, inside administrative, we have like a we have an option. We have to go to inside the setup wizard. So inside that we have to uh, do this configuration.
okay, that's it. Apart from that, no other requirement.
CyberArk
Yes,
Identification Engine service must be running in here.
Okay,
Uh,
and
and domain user also a part when we perform in the SMTP integration.
okay, domain user.
And part of Vault admin group also be there.
yeah, we should log in through LDAP authentication. We should log in and whatever configuration we are changing. After login PBW with LDAP authentication.
Okay, so let's.
One more thing, the user who is performing, he should be part of. Uh,
Domain user, right?
no, 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 Vault admin, Vault admin. like it should be a part of vault admin. So who is performing this activity?
Okay, what is a vault admin?
What is a vault admin? So while we configure on the LDAP integration, there is a prerequisites to do like for LDAP integration, we require some prerequisites like domain name, bind user, and we have some four groups like four groups and root certificate. So coming to vault admin, so there is a
No, no, what is vault admin? Not
vault
the,
admin.
yeah.
Okay.
What do you understand by vault admins?
I mean, is that not the building admins?
Who
No,
should have access in CyberArk Vault admin? Is having all the access like monitoring or
that's more of like the
No, no, that's
supervisor, right?
fine. That's fine. Like, what is vault admin? If let's say it is asked in the interview or your client is asking, what is vault admins? Why we use it? What's the purpose of this group?
For creating safes and authorizations.
Okay, only for safe and creating authorization.
and
I
also
mean, both
if we are
admin.
login through LDAP authentication in PBW we are login, then we should this should be the part of like vault either of the group for LDAP authentication. So this
Yeah,
also
that's fine. That will grant you the only login in PWA. But what do you understand by the vault admin groups? What kind of group it is? Yeah, totally get it. You integrate LDAP means during
Yeah.
LDAP integration we use those groups. So purpose of using those groups. Okay, and one more thing. Let's move to another question. I will explain this after we complete this mock interview session. As you said, like we need to log in with the LDAP to configure the SMTP. Can't we configure the SMTP integration with administrator? Why to use the domain user only?
because administrator have not the right to integrate or sending the notification.
Yeah, it has rights. It can configure it. And sending the notification will be sent by event notification engine service, not by the administrator. Whether you configure with the administrator or whether you configure with the domain user, your event notification engine is responsible for sending the notification. User who is performing it, he should have the rights to perform it. But and if you will check, if you will log in with the administrator, you can perform it because administrator by default have all the rights. But why we only use domain? That's the question. Okay, cool. So let's move to next question. Okay, let's say if SMTP is configured, okay, but still a user is not receiving any mail from CyberArk. So what could be the reason?
I mean, we need to check the event notification, make sure it's running,
Okay, that's one
and
reason. Okay, but
and then we
here
need.
in this case, only one user, single user, not others. Others are receiving. So which means even notification engine service is running.
Okay, but it's just that one user that's not receiving.
Yeah. But yeah, it may happen if no one is receiving the notification. It may happen like your even notification engine service is not running. That's one case. Another,
Ports should not be connected.
So if ports are not connected, then no user should receive the notification. It won't happen for single user.
Okay.
Any more reason you can think of?
Or that user should not be a part of the vault admin also.
Yeah, that's fine, because uh, in organization we will not be giving Vault admin access to every user. It will be with CyberArk team only. Any more reason, guys? Cool. So let's move to another question. Okay. If a user is trying to log into CyberArk using LDAP and he's not able to log in, so what could be the different reasons and how you will fix it?
As I said earlier, while logging into through the LDAP authentication, the user will be a part of any one of the group. Like we have 4 groups, the user should be a part of any one group.
Okay. And let's say if I say that user is part of that any of those 4 admin groups. Let's say he's part of the Vault admin, but still he is not able to log in via LDAP authentication.
It may be because of the production vault is running in the same time.
So the production vault is
Running in the same time. It is also in the running state.
no, the
Primary.
user is not able to log in. Your vault, everything is fine. PWA URL is opening. Only login part
Uh,
is not working.
so on that case, so if the user which is from the domain, so there might be issue with the domain users, like domain might be down or something issue with the domain.
Let's say you are, I think, 4 or 5 in a team. There are 4 or 5 members, and out of those 4 and 5 members, one is not able to log in, and they have the same permissions. Then what could be the reason?
Could it be that the user is already locked out of the, maybe the user is already suspended in the domain?
Okay, user gets suspended in domain or in vault.
Or maybe in bots also, yeah.
Okay, let's say, yeah, this could be one reason. User is suspended. Any more reason? And user is providing the correct password, so it's not related to password thing. Yeah, one reason is fine. The user could be suspended, so that's why he's not able to log into PWA portal. Any more reason, guys, you can think of? Okay, let's move to next part. I hope you will be able to answer this. Okay, difference between LDAP and LDAPS.
The LDAPS is the LDAP is secure. The LDAPS is not secure. So,
Okay, that's the only difference.
and they use the two different. They use different ports. So,
Yeah. Okay, what port used by LDAPS and LDAP?
For LDAP, we are using 389. For LDAPs, we are using 636.
Yep. And what is LDAP, guys? Let's say if someone is asking, can you please explain what is LDAP? What do you understand by LDAP?
It's lightweight.
It is a lightweight directory access protocol, and because by using this, we want to use the external users or domain users to log in into our CyberArk and managing their access. So for that purpose, we are using this LDAP.
Okay, that's fine, but let's forget about CyberArk. In general term, if someone is asking what is LDAP, that's fine. That is a LDAP authentication we use in CyberArk to log in. But what is LDAP?
LDAP
Yeah,
is one is secure, another is not secure.
yeah, that's fine. That's well, let's say we are talking about only LDAP. That's a like features, same feature we have in HTTP and HTTPS. One is secure, another is not secure. Okay, so if someone asks what is LDAP, then and another question, as you said, LDAPS is secure and LDAP is not secure. So what makes it secure? What makes it not secure?
It's secure between the communication between domain servers.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. Lee secure will have the secure communication, but what makes it secure?
So like
The
for LDAPS, we require certificate, root certificate.
Okay, so certificate makes secure, it encrypt your data. Okay, okay. Another question, what is LDAP then?
LDAP, just we can say like to manage the users and their access in an organization.
Okay, so if you want to connect to a local server, will you use LDAP to connect to a local? Let's say you
I
want
mean,
to connect to Vault. So how you will manage the Vault user?
with LDAP, you can use it to authenticate users, you know, within the client environment. So
Okay, okay, let's jump to another question. Okay, how you will be running the full replication in DR Vault?
with that, you just need to go to the padr.ini, and
Mhm.
then you take the last line, the client, you take it off, and then you start the DR services. It's gonna do the full application.
Cool. And what logs you will check then to see if replication is running successfully?
PADR log.
Yep, correct. Okay. Next question is what is app locker and why we use it in CyberArk?
So AppLocker, it is a feature of Microsoft. So while we installing AppLocker will be installed in the PSM server. So why we can use in CyberArk in a sense. So if we provide, for suppose, uh, if you want to whitelist some Edge browser like Chrome browser, so if you provide the details inside the app locker, so uh, so if from that URL only we can able to access. Other than that, so no one can able to access to the like PSM.
Okay, and as you said, we install the app locker.
No install. So while we installing the PSM, so it will be come into the PSM server.
Okay, and before installing the PSM, it's not there.
Mm.
That you want to say?
exactly not sure.
Okay, correct. And you said like app locker will be used to connect to PSM or
no, from PSM to some other else we have a folder like app locker in the hardening inside the hardening folder we have a app locker, so inside we are providing uh, the URLs itself.
okay, and what it will do then?
Like other than that URL, so for suppose we whitelisted the Chrome browser URL. So for suppose we are trying to check with the other than like Microsoft Edge, anything else, so it will not allowed.
Okay, and URL you mean to say we will just whitelist www.google.com.
Not sure, like URL instance, so that will be that.
So let's say we have different URLs, google.com, facebook.com, instagram.com. So you mean to say we will just whitelist those URLs and it will open. Okay,
Not sure about that.
okay, that's fine. Next question is what are different types of CyberArk Vault architecture we have? What different architectures we have?
We
Standalone
have
vault, cluster vault, virtual vault.
Yes,
Distributed work.
yes, standalone, then cluster, then distributed. Any more?
Two types.
Two types.
standalone HA and satellite one.
Okay, yeah, that's distributed vault only, whether you say satellite or distributed, same thing. Apart from that, any other architecture?
No, not one.
Okay, are you sure, guys? No other architecture than these three? Okay, different types of secret manager we have and its usage.
Different types of secret manager is credential provider,
Mhm.
and another is CCP, which
Okay,
central credentials provider.
okay.
CP is used for CP is used to client
Only
server
two?
for critical and business applications,
Okay. And
and CCP is used for critical business servers. And these all are used while onboarding or application onboarding. It is not
okay.
used on CyberArk. It is used on application or target server.
CCP.
CP and CCP.
Okay,
No, no,
CCP.
only CP. CCP installed on CyberArk. CP is not installed in CyberArk.
Okay, and only two secret manager we have.
No,
We have like ASCP also and Kanzur also. Kanzur is using on the privileged cloud and ASCP mostly on the Java related applications.
Okay. And as you said, like CP used for critical application and CCP is used for non-critical application. Why so? What's the reason?
So for CP we are using like one server per one uh, like we have to use one per server. So while coming to CCP, it will use one server we can use for the 40. One license we can use for 40 servers. So for coming to CP, one license for use for one server.
Yeah, that's fine. I can still use for the critical application. CCP can be used. So out of those 40 servers, one could be one critical server.
So there might be a difference like CP to CCP. In CP we have hash map authentication. Coming to CCP, there is not hash map authentication.
Hash map or hash authentication?
Hash authentication.
Okay, what is hash authentication?
Hash authentication, we can say like for suppose we have a script related thing. So we need to go to the uh, app SDK and utils in folder. Inside that we have to uh, provide this script and save it and run this script. Once the run with the command, we have a command. So once the run the command in the PowerShell, so we receive one hash like digits, hash authentication something digits. So while we whitelisting inside the authentication hash, so only that script won't be run. So if any changes done by from the client side, so it won't allow.
Okay, cool. Next question is, what is the latest version in CyberArk?
13.2.
No.
14.
Yes, 14 is the latest version now, which was, I think, 2 or 3 days back only it was released. Okay. What is Quorum disk and why we use it?
There it is, I think, used in 2 or 3 days back. So someone will, if we will give an interview in afterwards, so we will, what we will say, 13.2 or 14, which version we are using.
So it's not about the version you are using. So if they ask what is the latest version, so it's totally fine whether you use any version.
Okay.
But what is the CyberArk latest version? So it's 14.
Okay.
Yeah. So just you can check on the CyberArk document. You will find this version there. So just make sure, guys, because this question may be asked in the interview, just to make sure you if you are following the CyberArk guidelines or not. So before the interview, just make sure you check this version as well as. Okay. What is Quorum? Quorum disk and why we use it? What's the use of it?
This quorum is used for split to avoiding split brain scenario, or we can say that while installing cluster vault, only we have to make sure that we are using only one vault at the same time, at one time will be active.
We can say simple like to identify the active vault.
Okay. And what is split brain scenario in context of CyberArk?
You can something like to prevent communication error or something with between the two servers.
Okay, between two which server?
Uh, Both the active and the passive. So
Okay, so means they shouldn't communicate to each other. That you want to say, or
I said to prevent communication error. So pretty much so not sure.
okay. Let's jump to another question. What are the prerequisites to install or build the HA Vault?
Prerequisites to install a HA Vault is, first we need Windows Server and
Okay,
.NET Framework, uncheck all the network item except IPv4. Windows Vault should be the part of work group. Then we should, if we come to active vault, then we need two IP address. One should be public and one should be private, and also shared storage also. In both, in active or passive both we need.
Okay,
And also say Quorum must be connected in the store. Quorum disk. It should also be connected.
okay, and
And also we need virtual IP.
Virtual IP and SAN drive.
okay, and
I think all is coming in it.
are you sure everything is covered? You said Windows Server, uncheck all network items except IPv4. It should be a part of work group. Then two public IP, one private for active vault. Then SAN drive and quorum disk. Then virtual IP. That's it. Okay. Uh, what is public IP here and private IP? Why we need two different IP address?
So with the private IP, the private IP is used to communicate within the two vaults.
Okay.
With the yeah.
And public.
With the public IP address, so we can actually the vault can actually you can use it to communicate with other components. Yes.
Okay. Okay. And one more thing. Let's say when you build the active vault. So when you are going to build the passive vault, mean another node. So what are the important steps which you take care of while building the second node?
While building a second node, first you need to use the same um I think you need to use the same
Same
vault
wall server
ID.
ID and DB
Yeah.
ID.
Sorry, server ID and
DB database ID.
okay. Server ID is there in that database only, my.ini. That's same. Yeah, but that's
Vault ID.
yeah, Vault ID and
Database ID.
yeah, it's same only. Server ID you say or you say database ID, same thing. That's only two things we need.
We need some keys, like 4 keys is there.
Okay, what are those keys? Okay, I think okay, last question. What are PSM shadow users, and if we delete any shadow user from CyberArk PSM, what impact it will have? What would be the
It doesn't
impact?
have any impact because it's gonna get recreated anytime you try to connect to a non-RDP session. So the shadow user gets recreated.
Okay, what is shadow user?
Shadow user is used for the non-RDP uh connection, like Windows. So if you're trying to connect to something like Linux, shadow user get created.
Okay, okay, let's take one scenario. Let's say instead of deleting the user, means shadow user from the local users and groups, we will delete its folder. when a shadow user gets created, a folder will be also created in C users. If you will go to C drive, then there you will find a user folder there. If you will go inside the user folder, you will find there are different shadow user folders are created, if you have seen that. So if I delete that folder and I'm not deleting the user from the local users and groups, so what impact it will have? Anyone have come across such issues? I hope you understood the question.
Can you repeat again, Neil? Questions?
Oh, yeah. So let's say shadow user gets created in local users and groups. You open the lusr.mgr.msc and you just go to users. There you will find a shadow user profile, which will be something PSM-ABCD, something like that, a big number. Same folder with the same shadow username, it gets created in on PSM server. If you will go to see users, you will find a different profile is there. If we delete that different profile, so it's your connections might have like some issue, or will it be working fine? Cool. Okay, let's start with the first one. So guys, this answer was it was not the satisfactory answer. Web server, as you know, it's a feature of Microsoft, and full form is Internet Information Services. And web server is used to host the PWA URL. That's it. It is not used to connect to component or vault. It's a feature of Microsoft which is used in PWA to host the URL, because when you need a URL, let's say when you are just starting some online business, you need a website. To host that website, you need a server, because in server only you will be putting all your data, and that will be called using a URL. Same happens here. Without a web server or IIS, your PWA won't be running. So it is being used in PWA to load the URL, to host the URL. Correct. Moving to next question. This was fine. You said your vault will be down because this is the main service. Your private arc server, your logic container, event notification engine service depend upon private arc database only. If private arc database down, your vault will be down. And which log file you can check? That is a vault DB. In ITL log, you will not find the issue related to your database, because if your database is not running, nothing will be written in the ITL log, because that is attached to private arc server, not to database. So there is another log file which is vaultdb.log file, which you will find in the same path only. If you will go to C program file 86, private arc, then server, then database, I think in database folder you will find this log. Okay, this was absolutely fine. This question, like it was fine. You gave the correct answer. SMTP was also not the satisfied. Like I was not satisfied with this. Like it was broken, like the broken answer you gave. And SMTP, as you know, it's a simple mail transfer protocol. And prerequisites, as you said, it was like partially correct. We need the event notification engine service. User should be part of domain, port 25. You need an address, etc. And I asked like why administrator can't integrate this or can integrate this. Yes, administrator can also integrate it, but reason would be you won't be receiving any notification, because administrator account is a personal or it's a local account to CyberArk Vault. it doesn't have a email address because it's not a human ID. That's why we need to integrate this with the domain ID, because domain users will be having their email address. That's why we will be getting the notification. So that's the reason. Okay. Let's say if SMTP is configured but still a user is not receiving emails, and what could be the reason? So one reason was fine, but that will be applicable for all the users, like event notification engine service are not running, then no users will be receiving the mail. Another issue is this, as you said, like it should be, it is not part of the Vault admins group. But in an organization, it's not mandatory a user should be part of the Vault admins group. If you remember, when we perform the dual control, in dual control, we have the what permission we gave user, and one was having the retrieve and list permission. Another user was having the workflow permission. If a user on a safe is having the workflow permission and your dual control is configured, or you have configured your SMTP, that user will be receiving all the notifications related to that particular safe. That's one thing. Another, how you can make a user to receive the notification, if you will go to a platform, if you will edit a platform, there you will see a notification tab under your automatic password management. If you will provide the ID of that user in the recipient mail, that user will start getting all the notification related to that platform. Like you have onboarded 50 accounts to that platform, you will start receiving the mail. That's there in the platform. Okay. If a user is trying to log on to CyberArk using LDAP and he's not able to log in, so one use case was correct. The user might be suspended in CyberArk. Another use case would be in AD, that user is disabled. It may happen because if you try wrong password 3 or 4 times, or let's say in some organization you are using SailPoint, and in SailPoint you need to have your contract, like your contract date will end on 3 months or 6 months, and automatically if that 6 month is passed, automatically your ID will be disabled. So that could be one reason if ID is disabled in AD.
Anir, here one question. Yeah, AD team is doing all the activities in that AD server for before authentication, LDAP authentication. So we are not having any. How should we know that AD on user on AD has been disabled if we are not using these things?
So we will be doing troubleshooting now. Like in troubleshooting,
Yeah.
what you will be checking.
For this, we have to first
Yeah,
contact to them AD team,
yes, we will
or
check.
or it has some log report, or in the report we can see that it is disabled on the AD.
In logs, it might not show the user because this is coming on the another side. It's not in the vault in CyberArk. It's an external user. So that's why we will start from basic only. We will do a hit and trial only. We will check with the AD team if that account is healthy or not. That's the first thing we are going to check, because first you will check everything from the CyberArk end.
Yes.
If that user is having all access, earlier the user was able to log in, but all of a sudden he's not able to log in, then something should, it's coming from the another device, not from the CyberArk side.
Okay.
Okay. Difference between LDAP and LDAPS, that was absolutely correct, but that was a simple thing, guys. I asked what is LDAP, and you said lightweight directory access protocol. That's fine. That's the full form. It's a protocol, set of guidelines, set of rules, which is used to connect to AD to perform read and write operations. If let's say you are establishing a connection to a domain server, not to any server in the organization, it will use the LDAP in the background. to establish a connect to the domain server, and then you can perform your read and write operation. You can create a user and etc. and other stuff. That's your LDAP. Like same goes with the SMTP. What is how SMTP works? When you are sending and receiving a mail, SMTP is the protocol which is being used in the backend. Whether you use Gmail, Yahoo, any mail service. Okay. How to run full replication? That was absolutely correct. You open the padr.inf file, you remove the last two lines from it, and then you simply save that file and you run restart the DR service. And then you can check the padr log and you can validate if it is replicating the data or not. What is app locker and its use in CyberArk? So guys, app locker is a feature of Microsoft only. It's a Windows feature. It's nothing to do PSM. When you install the PSM, it doesn't install or it doesn't invoke the app locker. We are using the app locker in CyberArk PSM to whitelist and blacklist an application. Let's say your client is asking, I don't want Chrome or Edge or any other application to be opened from PSM server. So what we can do, we can block it in app locker. There is a script there. If you will check in the PSM, if you will go to the PSM, I think hardening, you will find that script. PSM configure app locker something script name is. That you can use, and you can simply run that script using the PowerShell, and it will configure whatever details you have provided. And it's not using the URL, guys. It will use the, let's say you have installed the Chrome application. So Chrome will be installed in some path like C drive, program file 86, something. So it will use that path and it will block it or whitelist it. So that's the app locker. And it's a feature of Microsoft, not the CyberArk. It is being used in CyberArk. Okay. Different types of CyberArk Vault architecture, that was correct. But you can add one more, that's the SaaS, means privilege cloud. One is your Vault architecture, as you said, standalone, your HA or cluster. Third is distributed. Fourth, you can add as a SaaS, that is your privilege cloud. In privilege cloud means that is handled by CyberArk only. Means Vault and PVWA will be taken care by CyberArk. You will not have access to the Vault and PVWA. Means server you cannot access. That is taken care by CyberArk only. They upgrade, they manage everything from their end. If you need to configure anything, we reach out to the support team and they will configure it. Even your, whether you configure your LDAPS, your SMTP, you configure your what we say, SIM integration. Everything is taken care by CyberArk only. We need to share the details and they will configure it. That's a SaaS. SaaS, just like you use Facebook. You just sign up to Facebook and you start using it. Similarly, there is a privilege cloud of CyberArk. You sign up, you pay for the license monthly or yearly, and then you start using it. And then, but some of the component like PSM, CPM, Secret Manager, you need to build. But CyberArk is going to help there as well as. Okay. Different types of Secret Manager, that was also correct. Like you have your means CP, CCP, your ASCP and Conjure. And that was also absolutely correct. Latest version, guys, always remember whenever you are planning for the interview, remember, because this question may be asked just to validate if you are just going through CyberArk document or not. So 14 was recently launched. I have also not gone through what are the new features you have. So if you are planning for the CyberArk interview, just read one or two new feature. Like there could be 3 or 4. Just read it and remember, because if let's say you are telling about like 14 is the latest version, so they may ask like, can you please tell me one or two new features or what's new in version 14. So if you are able to answer, then you will get a like preference over other candidate. Cool. Quorum disk, that was also correct. Like quorum disk is used to prevent your, because main task of quorum disk is to avoid the split brain scenario. Means your both walls should not come at the same time. When your active is up, your another node should be in standby or in passive mode. Okay, I asked, I think, one question: what is split brain scenario, guys? So split brain scenario, what happens? Let's say your primary is also up and your DR is also up, or another vault is also up, and your CPM is pointed to both the vault. It's connecting to the primary also and another DR also. So, and both vaults are coming are up. When I say up, means your private arc server is running on primary also and DR also. So what will happen in that case? CPM might connect to primary sometime and it might connect to DR. It will start changing the password on both the server, and DR service is not running, so data replication is not happening. So the users who are connecting to primary vault, they might not able to connect because password has been changed on the DR side. So CPM is changing the password on both sides, which may lead to password sync issues, and it will have a split brain scenario, and there will be lots of P1 tickets. Okay, prerequisites to install HA. Like, guys, you gave the correct answer, but you didn't mention the software requirement. So whenever, let's say, someone is asking about the prerequisites, start with the system requirement. For HA Vault installation, the system requirements are: we need to have a Windows server and it should be part of a work group. We need to uncheck all the network items except IPv4. But sometimes they may ask you question, why we need to uncheck IPv4, means except IPv4, why we need to uncheck other? Just to provide more security, because it's as per CyberArk recommendation, no one should allow the copy paste or like make changes to the sharing, because if you have seen in the network items, there is one sharing option also, means print or printing option also, if you want to take a print of something. So that's why we uncheck, just to increase the security as per CyberArk recommendation. If someone asks, don't tell in advance, try to give answer point to point only.
Neer, here one question then. You said we need to uncheck only IPv4. Okay.
No,
We have uncheck all except IPv4.
Yeah.
Then while installing PVWA, why then we are unchecking only IPv6? Rest of all or not we are unchecking.
I think I gave this in the session. I think someone already asked. Anyone can answer, or should I? If others remember. Okay. So in PVWA, I think in 11 version, there was a vulnerability, or you can say some known issue. So what was happening? PVWA was automatically redirecting to IPv6. So sometime that URL was working, sometime it was not working. So in the newer version, when CyberArk launched it, I think it was 11.5 or 11.3. They just brought up with this new prerequisites. So that's why we need to uncheck the IPv6 to resolve that known issue.
And in PSM, we are not unchecking anything.
No.
This is the also same reason, due to vulnerability.
For PSM?
Yeah. No need to uncheck anything.
Nothing to do with the vulnerability. That is something the non-issue. Let's say you have some issue in your system, so you just do a fix, and in the next version you have that already. You just make a process. So nothing to do with the PSM or any other. Yeah.
Okay. Neil.
Yep. Okay. Shadow user, yeah, it was fine. Like it gets created for the non-RDP connection. And I think I asked one question: if I delete a user profile from the C drive, so, and I'm not deleting from the local users. So yes, guys, it will have an impact, because shadow user, it's a kind of shadow. It's a shadow of you. Whenever you take a one connection, it will save your cache. if you have heard about cache memory, let's say if you use a Google Chrome. So when you are just hitting a URL for the first time, and it will take some time, but when you use that same URL twice or thrice, that URL will load very quickly because your browser is saving some cache, some information from that URL which you are accessing, and it will load those details much faster. Same case goes with the shadow user. Shadow user just create a user profile in your C drive. If you will go to C drive and users, you will see a folder with the same name. Inside that, it just store all the information, but those information not be privileged. Only your you can say it's a cache. It will store those preference, not the password apart from other details. If you delete it and you are not deleting the user from the LUSR or local users, yes, it's going to impact your connection. When someone is trying to connect to some application, non-RDP application, and you deleted that shadow user for him only, yes, he will not able to connect, he will get an error. So to fix this, we will delete his shadow user from local users and groups, and then it will be fixed. Cool. So, and one more thing, guys, if you want to ask me, let's say if this would have a real interview, no one would have passed because I think some of you was not giving the point-to-point answer. Let's say if I ask LDAP integration about the LDAP groups, so try to answer in a point to point, because if you are giving more information, then interviewer may start asking more questions out of it. Correct? They will make a question out of it if he's some experienced interviewer. And as you know, if anyone is taking the interview, they have lots of experience because in a single day they take approx 10, 50 or more than that as well as. Cool. Let me stop
Near
sharing.
one more thing. While in
Yeah,
the app locker, you told me to me
yeah.
what we are doing copy paste like www.google.com. So what is the answer for that?
Yeah, as I said, URL will not be copied. We just copy the path. Let's say you have installed the Chrome in some path. Chrome will be installed in a path C drive, program file 86, Google or something. So you need to provide that path, exe path.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, that should be whitelisted or blacklisted if you want.